Deadpool. We have known over the past several weeks, Ryan Reynolds has come out and mentioned the idea of him meeting with Marvel and Kevin Feige as they've sat down with some of the writers trying to pen some ideas and scripts for the upcoming Deadpool film. But there's still a lot of questions in regards to it, right? Like, is this movie going to be rated R? Are they going to go the PG-13 route? Are they going to kind of keep Deadpool in its own universe? Are they going to manage to bring it into the MCU? So certainly a lot of questions revolving around Deadpool 3. But we finally have ourselves some detailed information. And again, this comes to us from Collider.com, Indy. So let's go ahead and pull up this article here and break this down. So according to Collider.com, it says Kevin Feige has confirmed that Deadpool 3 is going to be an MCU movie, also teases an R rating and when it's going to be filming. So it says there are a lot of questions that arose when Disney brought the 20th Century Fox, but one big question Marvel fans had was about the future of the Deadpool franchise. It says Collider's own Steve Weintraub recently spoke with Marvel's Studios president Kevin Feige in anticipation of the Marvel's first Disney Plus series WandaVision. And during their conversation, Feige gave a promising update on Deadpool 3, revealed when filming will begin, and most importantly, confirmed the sequel will be a part of the MCU. It does say that Deadpool 3 won't begin filming, though, until 2022 at the earliest. So we still at least have another year before this movie actually comes into actually being in front of the cameras. So this is what Kevin Feige had to say. He says it will be rated R, and we are working on a script right now, and Ryan's overseeing the script right now as well. It will not be filming this year. Ryan is very busy, very successful actor. We've got a number of things were already announced that we now have to make, but it's exciting for it to have begun. Again, a very different type of character in the MCU, and Ryan is a force of nature, which is just awesome to see him bring that character to life. You know what, Indy, if you ask me, man, I feel like this is probably a very welcome challenge for Ryan Reynolds. The idea of taking a character that he loves so much in Deadpool and being able to work with these writers and just kind of figure out how you put somebody like the Merc with a mouth sort of in the MCU. Kevin Feige just mentions the idea, quite a different character, right? Being placed in the MCU. What are some of your levels of expectation or anticipation of knowing that Ryan Reynolds is bringing his character to the MCU, and just some of the interactions that we're going to be getting? How do you like this news?
I expect it to be exactly what we're used to when it comes to Deadpool.
No pulling any punches type of thing?
No pulling any punches. I feel like it's going to be amazing with him being able to play with all the toys in the sandbox rather than just a few. It's going to be interesting to see what the plot line is going to be for 3, because we all know 2 wasn't everybody's favorite. 1 was dang near perfection. Like, the Deadpool 1 was a precedent of how every solo Marvel movie should be made. Deadpool 2 was, I feel, rushed. I feel like they should have had more time to do the movie. You know what I'm saying? Lay stuff out. But I feel like the first one was so popular that they had to get the second one out, that it could have just been written a little bit better, or just had a whole different premise to start off with. The third one, with him having access to everything that has happened in the MCU and him just being able to make fun of anything he wants to make fun of, I feel like it might be the best Marvel movie we see on screen, period.
For Deadpool 3?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. I mean, hey, you never know, man. I mean, listen, with Marvel's track record of how they've done some amazing films, you got somebody that's incredibly talented like Ryan Reynolds that has his finger sort of on the pulse of this character. Who's to say, man, that you never know, bro. You absolutely never know. So who's to say what kind of Deadpool 3 that we wind up getting? But I'm kind of excited for it, honestly. I mean, I wasn't sure how they were going to pull off the R rating, but I love the fact that Kevin Feige is just sort of embracing it. While I haven't watched the PG-13 version of Deadpool, I believe you said it was still okay, right?
The PG-13 version was better than the original to me.
Oh, really? Okay. See, I haven't even had the chance to check out the PG-13 one. So that's why I was another part of me was thinking like if the PG-13 movie maybe had some success, maybe that was certainly a route that they would go. But it's almost like listening to Eminem music that's edited. Like you can't have it. It's almost impossible. Like you need to have Deadpool that drops all the F bombs and things like that. So I'm glad that they're sticking true to who the character is. And for me, I really want to see just his interactions. I definitely got to see an interaction with Spider-Man for sure. I think Tom Holland and Ron Reynolds will have a blast with that. Give me even Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. Throw in some Tony Stark in there somewhere. I would absolutely love to see what they wind up putting together. How do you like the idea, though, of us having to wait at least an additional year before it gets in front of the camera?
I believe with everything that we have going on right now that it needs to wait that year. We already have the shift of movies and television shows having to move because of the pandemic. I think trying to get it out or even trying to start filming it now would be problematic for the movie itself. So give us the time to get back to normality and then let them film it, and put it out. Make that a staple of the next phase. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we'll be good. We'll be good to go because we already know what we're getting right now. Looking at Deadpool 3 in the future and putting stuff around that, because think about it. You'll have that. You'll have Blade, which could possibly also be rated R now since they already confirmed Deadpool, being rated R. And you have a whole list. You got the Moon Knight television show coming. You have a whole list of a different type of Marvel coming, in the future. If you can get the Punisher and roll that back out, maybe the whole Charlie Cox Daredevil thing, and we feel like we're getting our more adult Marvel back.
Yeah, we could definitely be leaning towards that for sure. In regards to a more adult Marvel, because there were even talks of like Disney Plus either trying to make like a different section, I think, for adults. I don't know if they're necessarily going to be doing that now anymore at all, but we'll see what winds up happening here. There was something I had off the top of my head that I wanted to bring up, and I cannot remember now for the life of me. I hate when that happens, man, when you just draw an absolute blank. What I was going to say was the fact that it is going to be taking place in 2022, or at least filming begins. This almost makes me pretty hopeful for the concept of X-Men and mutants sort of being introduced. I would be curious. I have a feeling that they clearly have a plan to introduce mutants at some point in time. But I'm wondering if Deadpool is going to end up being like our first mutant movie that we wind up getting, or if they somehow tie it to the MCU without maybe having mentioned the introduction to X-Men and mutants by that time. I almost feel like it's a little bit backwards, but again, we don't know what the how they plan on handling or truly using Deadpool at the end of the day. So part of me is maybe hoping that they're going to start dropping some breadcrumbs to the concept and idea of mutants, whether that be in WandaVision, Doctor Strange in the multiverse, or Eternals, or whatever the case may be. But I feel like if Deadpool is going to be starting to be developed in 2022, I got to think that that's probably going to be around the same time that they start bringing in X-Men or mutants, or at least starting developing things under around that time period. What do you think about that, though?
I think that's honestly what's going to happen. I would like them to establish mutants before the Deadpool movie.
Me too. It would feel really odd to me, like that Deadpool would be like the first mutant that you bring into the MCU.
Or maybe it's not the fact he's the first mutant. Maybe Deadpool could somehow, after the Eternals, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he could take us on a history run. Because if you're going to have somebody running through, give me a time traveling Deadpool. Somebody who's running through and like popping in and out and trying to make mutants exist so his movie can exist, like type thing. Like he wants to make more Deadpool movies, but over here at the Disney place, mutants don't exist. So he has to run through time and disable everything and make everything better so him and his fellow mutants can exist so he can have more movies.
I do love that idea. I really do love that idea. I do love that idea. What if he just like handpicks random mutants and brings them into the MCU? Like, we need to establish you. He brings in like Patrick Stewart, brings in somebody else from a different version of X-Men in there too. Why not? Just bring everybody in. All right, guys. But hey, listen, Deadpool 3 coming our way. Ryan Reynolds is going to be in front of the camera, 2022. rated R and in the MCU. I honestly wasn't expecting that, but for me at least, I think my anticipation comes with just the interactions that we're certainly going to be getting from Deadpool. I've watched some of Deadpool 2. Really love Josh Brolin so far as Cable. I have yet to finish it, but I really do love him, and I really do love Domino in there. Like, one of my favorite aspects was seeing how they would adapt Domino's power set of luck to the big screen. Like, visually, how do you represent that? And I thought they did such a good job with just showcasing exactly how lucky she was with all these like just incredible things happening around her in slow-mo, or like just things to just land in her lap type of thing. I love the way that they executed that power set, honestly.
I really need Deadpool to make the Agents of Shield canon. Like, have him say, "Oh, you mean the bald-headed dude that runs Shield?" But him be talking about Mac and not Nick Fury, and then like you see Nick Fury come on the screen, not that guy, the other bald-headed dude, and then he just like holds up a picture of Mac or something like that. That would be amazing. If you're listening to me, Ryan Reynolds, please make Agents of Shield canon again.